Hey, my lovelies, it's Michelle Spiva, and I am coming to you today with another little chat, inspiration, motivation. I need some light. Guess I should have considered that with all the melanated darkness I have going on. Let me see if this will help at all. Not really, but it's okay. So anyway, how y'all doing today? How you doing? Okay, so I did a podcast today. Well, I do them every day. But anyway, I did a podcast today, and the subject was overcoming setbacks. And excuse me, excuse me, you guys, overcoming setbacks. And I I was actually uh channeling some of the things that I have recently had to go through that affected me health wise, affected me financially, and the whole thing. And some of the stuff that I had to update on my cliche ish thinking, my surface understanding, and all that kind of stuff. And what I found uh, was that it's when you're in the midst of trying to regain lost ground, trying to reclaim what you've already won. There is a lot of stuff going on that people don't take into account, sitting far away, or as I like to say, sitting high looking low. And that is a certain amount of self pity, doubt, um and all of that kind of stuff. One of and I didn't say this part in the podcast. I wanted to say before our little talk today. But one of the things is that I didn't realize could be a part of trying to overcome and get back on your feet was this sense of mistrust, self mistrust, and that thing is diabolical. I mean, seriously, I never knew that I could get to a point where things just I'm trying, y'all. Anyway, this is scratching. Where things would get to the point where I was like, uh, should I do this? I mean, things I never used to question because time would have it, time and again, over and over again, stuff would happen where it didn't work out the way I thought it should work out. And I was like, now, you know what? But even in the midst of that, in the midst of people looking at me and saying, snap out of it, get over yourself. It's not that bad. I was like, you don't quite understand what's going on. So there were some things that I wanted to just talk about today. And you guys, let me know. Give me some thumbs up, some comments, some hearts. Let me know you out there. I can see a little number here, little number, but I'm thankful for it. But let me know I'm not talking into the void, and I'm having a conversation because this is a chat. This is me taking it to the streets, so face to face and all that kind of stuff. And so this was something, and I actually said it when I was having a conversation with one of my nieces over some things that she was going through that I had to realize, and it was this, and it was that your emotions, hmm your emotions, your emotions can either be medicine or they can be poisonous vomit. Yeah, I wanted to go that graphic, and the way which one you're serving, you're inhabiting is with the medicine. Is the emotion helping you to grow, helping you to become stronger than you were? Meaning, the wallowing and self-doubt, questioning yourself. Do I trust myself to make the right decision and all that kind of stuff? What is that? Why is that there? Is it possibly that I need to learn how to reignite my faith, reignite my belief? And with that, and I'll just cut to the chase, what I realized with the whole self doubt thing was that what I was really needing to do was to reignite my expectations. Oh, yeah. I had gotten to the point where I was working and only doing the safe stuff that I was like, this should work. This should work, right? That's what I'm asking. I'm not saying, oh, this is going to work. I mean, I knew it worked, But because a lot of things in succession kept going boom, 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 going the wrong way, I was like getting, more and more narrow on I'll only do the stuff proven to work. But I was having the wrong impetus, the wrong catalyst, the wrong fuel behind it. And you know what that was? My expectations were off. I didn't know what to expect. And there's something to that statement that says, you get what you expect. I said it on my Instagram today. I have now seen some signs and wonders. That is how you can have a raggedy strategy and still come out with getting what you wanted or even something better. Sure have. I have seen it. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the expectations. Sure have. And not for nothing, I went on and just, was like, okay, maybe that's what that means. Maybe that's what that emotion is trying, to tell me. Latched onto that, and wouldn't you know, it started working. But then another thing, where that was medicine, I had some other stuff that it was just vomit. And that those emotions were self-doubt on the side of you've lost your mojo. You're not good enough. The world is passing you by. Can I get an amen? If you understand what I'm talking about, leave me a comment. Let me know. Tell me, honey, and let's talk about it, because rooting up that stuff, it seemed like it triggered all the other times when I had missed the mark, when I hadn't gotten what it was I was working for or what it was I was hoping for. Yeah, because it wasn't just business stuff, it was other stuff. Yes, it was. And oh, it is a hard hit, a heavy blow, and a sad way to go when you miss the mark and when you are feeling like a loser. I heard this thing. Eddie Murphy just did a movie last month called "My Name Is Dolomite." He didn't do it. It came out on Netflix last month. "My Name Is Dolomite," and they were interviewing him and the crew. I mean, the cast about the subject, Rudy Ray Moore. Now, I'm not here for the controversy of whether or not he ever met him or ever talked to him. I don't care about that. But what he said, it was shocking because I was like, "Hey," but then I had to think about it, and I was like, hard truths for a hard world. And this is what he said. He said that Rudy Ray Moore was not the guy that you went to for inspiration on how to sing, how to act, or how to be a comedian. He was like, but we are still sitting here doing his movie of his life. And the cast were like, oh, okay. And then when they thought about it, this is the summation that Eddie came up with that I was like, oh, that's cold, but it's got some truth to it. And that was this. He said that Rudy got a movie about his life because Rudy was a loser who refused to lose. And I was just like, now, you know what? That make all the sense in the world. I would rather somebody do my movie who possibly never would take my calls when I was alive, who still thought I was a loser, but yet and still he's doing my movie, than to have been a person with great expectation. I mean, not great expectation, a person with great potential with low expectations. You know, Rudy Ray Moore had the audacity of hope and belief in himself. When you told him no, he'd find a way to go do it himself. I don't care how raggedy his strategy was, he would get it done. And thus, we have a legacy of a guy with, if we are to believe the critics, mediocre talent. Okay. And so I was like, And I did go and watch the movie. I will say this. I went and watched the movie, and I did come away with an inspirational tone of how they portrayed Rudy getting shot down. And then he would look and he'd have that, that gift of observation, that stuff that they tell us. And let me do this because I'm getting glares and everything. But anyway, they would have that, he would have that epiphany, and that observation and stuff. And I was like, That's true. That's true. So what if you have a setback? Get back on it. Y'all, this is sad. Now I'm seeing double. Good God. Let me put these glasses back on. Anyway, um, yeah. So part of, the spewing out vomit part for me came when I wasn't handling the setbacks well, and I wasn't getting that message, that message of, so what if people think you are a loser? So what if you have lost important ground that you have gained? The message is, you don't want to feel like this. I'm making you feel this bad so that you will change up and you will do something about it. Don't wallow here. Get thyself up and go about thy way. And now this, of course, this epiphany happened way before this movie, but it was like, this movie is kind of like confirmation. So what if people look at you as a winner or a loser? Only person that can really hold you back is you. And so getting to understand that what I had been doing was just uh, being a bad actor, acting out my self pity, acting out my pain, wallowing in it, bringing my audience down to just a very, very trusted few who I had vetted within an inch of my life to not say anything that hurts me. Of course they love me enough. They be like, look, you got to get over this. You got to get over yourself. And I was thankful for that. But when I realized that I had been spewing out the vomit of the unchecked, unprocessed emotions, that's when I was like, this is not helping me. And I just kind of want to put that to you too. And this is not preachy teaching. This is just, I'm going to seriously ask you, are you wallowing in some negative things, some negative emotions? Do you have an internal chip on your shoulder? Are you, excuse me, are you weak? And when I say weak, are you a person who can't handle criticism, who avoids terse or difficult circumstances? Or maybe you are a slippery, evasive kind of person where you never commit to anything. That's just as bad. If that is the case, maybe you are operating out of unchecked emotions, which means that you're not growing. You're not able to handle it. And this is another thing that I wanted to say about, snapping out of it and getting past those setbacks. When you really look at it, and I kind of want to invite you to do this, and, drop them in the comments. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this. But for me, once I started realizing what was my medicine and what had been my vomit, I started working on that part. And this is the funny thing I found out about me. I can't say this for anybody else, but for my personal wisdom truth was this: that the part that I had not been willing to deal with was there to also help me to know what my new normal would be. Because my setback was that I was aiming for the next thing, and I didn't make it that time. And I let that waylay me, put me on the side for a little too long. But then I started to realize that, guess what? You guessed it. This was kind of like an audition to let me know what the new normal would look like. If you can't handle it right now, you sure as sugar ain't gonna handle it when you get there. And so I had to be like, oh my gosh, epiphany, epiphany. And the epiphany was moving into a new space is rarefied air. It's rare. You don't understand it. A lot of times, a lot of people are not going to be able to go there with you. And you're going to have to be self sufficient. And you're going to have to be able to not only get there, but you have to be able to be agile, adaptable, and sustainable. And if you get batted down the first time and stay down, you don't deserve to get where you're trying to go. And so that was another thing that I had to realize with these setbacks. So on the podcast, I do give you a few more things that we talk about there. But today I just kind of wanted to have this little chat and inspire you, hopefully, that when you get waylaid, when things don't go your way, check your expectations. Are your expectations in line with what you want? And even if they're in line, are you willing to still be tenacious and be like Rudy Ray Moore, like Eddie Murphy called him. He said, a loser who refused to lose. Are you willing to be that person? Because today, that's what it's going to take. I mean, let's just face it. That's what it's going to take. I have this saying, I've been saying it for years, and I'll be the first to admit, I missed it. I wasn't saying it when I needed to be saying it. And my little saying is, no means next. Oh, no means next. Until you don't have no more go past no. So hopefully this will be like a little shortcut for you. I pride myself on being the serving at the pleasure of wisdom. And so I'm like, I'm your practical priestess of wisdom, serving this to you, helping you to have some moments and hopefully getting past that. And then not only do you need to update your expectations, come on, y'all. We definitely need to learn from what our lives are trying to show us, because you never know. The very thing that you're trying to get is the very thing that's making you feel set back, put upon, overwhelmed, overcome, defeated. That could be the golden ticket or the key to getting what you want next. You got to grab that thing by the horns, wrestle it to the ground, and show it who is over this, who's king, who's queen, who's sovereign, who is the stronger person, and allow it to shape you and show you how to get the best of what it is you wanted. Because that was another thing too. Once I started getting past myself, started getting past my emotional vomit, I started realizing that what it was trying to do was to get me prepared for the next step by refinement and refining me. I've started to have to learn how to expand my awareness. The stuff that you want, sometimes it really does want you, but you're not ready to want it back because you can't even perceive it. You can't even figure out what awareness I need to be aware of so that I can see it. And when I talk about awareness, I'm not just talking about these. If anything, this is the last thing I'm talking about, because your eyes lie to you. I just read a study, and I don't want, yeah, I'm gonna go off on a tangent. Yes. So I just read a study. Y'all, I love the Journal of Science. I'll just say that. Anyway, I just read a study that talks about scaratic. Yeah. It's called scaratic. SACCRATIC. Yeah. So it's called a scaratic mask or scaratic masking. And if you take how many milliseconds of the day that scaratic masking happens to us, they say on average, 40 minutes cumulatively of our day is composed of scaratic masking. And guess what that is? That's blindness. An able-bodied person spends a cumulative of about 40 minutes of your day being blind. Now, why does it do this? It does this because when you move, if your eyes don't learn how to focus on something, you'll continuously live in a world of blurs, because the brain and the eyes can't negotiate movement. And so even when you're looking back and forth, it is taking little shots. It's kind of like a panoramic vision. And what it does is it makes those stops where it blinds you so slight that it looks like you're seamlessly taking in the landscape, but you're not. It's blinding you so that it can focus on a point as you move. I thought about, being on a train and just watching the hillside go by. I'm like, half that time you didn't see stuff. That's how sometimes people can have major accidents and they can swear honestly that they didn't see the light change, or they didn't see that person, or that person came out of nowhere. And it is because of this scaratic masking. Now, take that and look at your setbacks. If you're needing to get to a new level of awareness, you're needing to learn how to train yourself to be more open to handle more inputs. And so that's why I said, don't even trust these, because half 40 minutes of the day you're blind. So that new awareness will be things, like uh observation, deduction, how How is it that certain people are able to quote unquote pick up on stuff that people try to mask and hide? It's because not only do we have our vision, but we have, and I talked about this in another podcast, that researchers agree. Now, this is just an agreement. This is not hooey hooey, but researchers agree that we have between 14 and 20 extra senses that we know of. For instance, the ability to ignore your nose when your eyes look, or how to be able to walk without having to look at your feet to see where to go. Those are two different types of senses. Or what about this? The sense of when you feel heat or cold on your skin without touching it. That is a sense. So you have touch, but then you also have the ability to feel hot or cold or gradients in between. That's another sense. So it's so many different things. And what I was finding for me and for some people that I've talked to, when we talk about this whole setback, I actually looked at it and was like, you know what? It was a gift that I overused or I abused. And so a setback sometimes is a reset to be like, pay attention, become more aware. There was something you missed. There was a lesson you were supposed to get. I'm going to need you to step it up. I'm going to need you to pay attention to more of your awareness. I'm going to need you to still trust yourself when you fall flat on your face. It is an amazing thing that I am now able to look at that painful time, which was recent, I ain't gonna lie, and be like, thank you. Because now, on the other side of it, having wrenched out the messages that I was supposed to get, and now putting myself on the way to be able to talk about it. Oh, baby. I'm not going to unlearn this. I'm not going to regress on this because I'm thankful. The very fact that I do a daily podcast, and y'all, every day, I said I was going to try to do it every day up until at least, a year. And we got some more months to go, but every day. And then after that, maybe weekdays, but we'll see. We'll see. But every day. And now putting this component in it, I have stuff that I can share with you because of all this foolishness. And so I count it as a thank you because I would not have been able to, have these little chats with you or, share on a daily podcast. I, I would have been sitting up there like, so how was your day? It would not be cool. So anyway, um, I'm very grateful. And like I said, I never thought that I would say anything about being grateful. I'm gonna try to turn this on. Y'all, I'm still getting used to that didn't work. I'm still getting used to the uh what do you call it? The daylight savings time. And so understanding daylight and all this kind of stuff has been kind of different. So y'all bear with me, okay? So anyway, let me see. I don't know. Did I lose you? I don't know what just happened, but I'm gonna keep on talking because I can't see y'all. But it's all right. So anyway, just going through, being able to go through my setback, I now have something to say. Isn't that something? Uh, other than okay, so and then on top of that, dealing with the new things that I wanted to deal with. I'm not gonna lie, they've been scary. They have. They've been scary. Let's just be honest. And they've been things that I had avoided for a while. And I'm actually just trying to close some stuff down so I can continue here. Yeah, okay. I'm back. Anyway. So they were kind of scary, but I I'm gonna say that I'm not killing the game, but I'm still in the game. And being able to become more aware, more open has been a gift that I don't know if I would have ever learned it, but because I had to go through those setbacks, nothing went the way I wanted it to. I had to realize that I was slipping on my expectations. I was like letting those missed opportunities come and beat me upside my head. And then I had to realize that I got to make sure that I'm still in this game, that I'm still expecting. And even if I'm expecting the miracle, I can still expect that, because even if I don't get it, I'm gonna get something, but I'm gonna keep moving. So yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna close this one down right now. I see y'all watching. Y'all leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna be doing more of these, and send me messages if you want me to talk about something. Oh, and don't forget to check out the podcast. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I thought I wasn't out there by myself. Thank you for joining me so much. I appreciate that. But anyway, what I was going to say is that I'm out there on most of the major platforms daily. Yep, daily on my podcast. If there is something that you want me to talk about or answer, I'll be, if I can. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say I know everything. I do not know everything. Like I said, I'm worshiping at the altar of wisdom. I serve at her pleasure as one of her practical priestesses, trying to break this down and share with y'all all the buffoonery and foolishness I get into, because God knows I do out here in these streets trying to make it. But just wanting to really kind of just, share with you and give you some inspiration, and help you get motivated. And so snap out of it. If you have been felt, if you have been wallowing for too long, it's time to shake off those funeral rags. It is time to get the lesson, graduate, and get going. Because 9 times out of 10, whatever it is you're wallowing in, whatever it is you're acting out in that you won't face, you won't process, is the very skill you need to become very proficient in, because that becomes your new normal in getting what you want, whether it be a significant other, or a job, or money, or health, wealth, prosperity, whatever it is. Honey, baby, there ain't nothing in life for free. There is always a price, a toll, a payment, a cost, an investment, if it's worth having. hmm Always. And so, do me a favor as I close this down. Scan your life. Are there things that you have had setbacks in that you've just become okay with business as usual, of just wallowing in it, not moving forward? You know that you want this, but you're settling. Hmm. You know, uh, I'm gonna say this: don't always settle, because to always settle means you're always on the bottom. Shake yourself up, get past yourself, learn the lesson, figure out the message. Do you realize that emotions, good and bad, or in between, always come to pass, never to stay, including happiness? Oh, yes. There are going to be times when, excuse me, y'all, my sinuses are acting up. There are going to be times when you feel like, oh, this is not for me because I'm not feeling it, or I'm not happy. Happy from the word hap, meaning fortune or luck. It does not guarantee that you're going to have it all the time. And if you're using that as a predictor, child, you set yourself up for failure right now. Take happiness out of the equation. Now, you can have a sustaining joy, but that's a muscle, because joy is strength to help you get through something that you got to work on. So you even can't just say, oh, I'm going to do that. Yeah, you can say the joy of the Lord is my strength, but you got to work on that joy. Some of your joy is so emaciated, I'm surprised it has not gone down to its last gasp. And I'm talking to where I was too. And I said I was going to close this down. So I'm going to go on and get off of here. Y'all don't forget, I'm going to try to put, not I'm going to try, I'm going to put today's podcast link in the show notes. And y'all leave me some comments, ask me some questions, and hopefully I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. So let me see how I can end this.